G'day YouTube, my name's Lance. Welcome to Bundy Bear's Shed. Well, the weather report. It's been pissing down rain all weekend. The 17 to 24, and we've had about a little over 60 millimetres. I think it was 65 millimetres of rain over Friday, Saturday. I mean, yesterday morning wasn't too bad. It was had a little bit of sun, but instead of popping up into the shed here, Jude and I have been sitting up, bits of sooks really, but sitting up in the pool room with the fireplace on Saturday night watching the election results and having a few red wines and yeah, getting a bit low on wood with all the wet weather around. So yesterday morning I took time to run out with the chainsaw there, and there was an old dead tree over in the bush there, so I dropped that, and we've got enough wood for a few weeks now. So I got all that done Saturday morning, and Thursday evening I raced home from work, and they reckon Friday, Saturday was going to be wet, so I jumped on the mower and I mowed for hours. I didn't get into the house yard inside, but I've got all the outside done, so look, very lucky. You bog a duck there at the moment. I'm mowing out the front here. I thought I'd get rid of that set of harrows I bought. I thought I'd pop that round behind Paulie's shipping container, bloop, down went the forklift. So I got the John Deere going, got that out, and away we went. But in the meantime, while I've been doing nothing, I've been working away with a few jobs in the machine shop up the front there. Saturday, I spent most of the time up in the machine shop buggering around. I have I've been doing an F12, or F14, sorry, carby, and I had to rebush the butterfly shaft through here. So I made the jig. I have filmed some of that. There should be a little bit of machining at the end of the stew, or in part 2 of the stew, or whatever we end up doing. So that part there is good. Then, I've got another part here some bloody where. No, it's over in the parts wash. And the butterfly shaft on that F14 carb, instead of being one shaft all the way through, it's 2 little bits. So I had to, it was 1/4 inch, and in my shed here and in my machine shop, not one length of 1/4 inch mild steel. Bloody unreal. Had to turn some down. I have 1/4 inch brass and 6mm brass and 6mm steel, which is a little bit smaller than 1/4 inch. And yeah, so anyway, on the shopping list this week, 1/4 inch round. So yeah, I had to turn the shaft down, drill down through. I've put 3mm threads in there with nuts, and then I had to get the slitting saw and fit it. And yeah, the butterfly was 50 thou, and the only slitting saw I had that was close was 40 thou, or 1mm. And so out with the little rifle, but it took me most of the day on Saturday just rooting around these F14 carby. This F14 carby, so doesn't matter. Hey, I do enjoy the work. It's just taking time to do it. I put a couple of pictures out on Instagram and Bundy Bear's Shed Facebook page of what we're doing. The Instagram feed and the Lance's feed, my Lance Maskell personal Facebook page, for some reason I must have had the settings wrong, and when I put a post on mine it went to the Instagram feed. But I'm trying to keep the Instagram feed for, and the Instagram name and Instagram's just Bundy Bear's Shed, one word, I think it is. Anyway, might be split up. And then we have a Bundy Bear's Shed Facebook page, so just jump on and follow them if you'd like. And I'm going to be using Instagram a bit more, just for photos about what's going on through the week. So have a look there and see. Young Freya, she's out of intensive care and she's in the ward, but she was losing weight all the time, and 25 grams a day and things like that, and they were a bit worried about it. And they've opened the chest where the cut was, and look, it's from up just under her neck there right down to her belly button. God, bloody big. And anyway, one little stitch got a bit of infection in it, so they're jumping all over that. And so they've taken her off mother's milk and putting her on formula because as you can understand, I suppose, Mum's all stressed and all that, and it comes through. Yeah, if Mum eats something that gives her indigestion or something, well, it goes through the milk. So, or if you're stressed and worried, it seems to go through. So, so we didn't hear yesterday, but the day before they put her on formula, and 45 mils an hour or something or other like that it was. God, doesn't sound much, does it? But she put on 65 grams. So we think, hopefully, they've turned a corner, and they're back out, back going a bit better. Tim came up this weekend. Ellie's mum went down for support for her, and this weekend was Tim's weekend with his kids, with Airy and Arrow, and so he come up for the weekend. So yeah, come out home here for Friday night, beer and bickies, and Friday night when we have the kids, we always have the family around. So so he come up and spent the weekend with the kids, and he's got it goes to Wednesday. So Wednesday morning he'll drop them off at the school and head back to Brisbane, and clock on with Freya again. So anyway, it's probably done him the world of good having that little break, just away from it all down there. But he said with the one-on-one in intensive care, they monitor every little thing, and there's a team of people looking after a few in intensive care. But he said out in the ward there, Freya was 38 temp or something like that, but they're that busy there, it took about 4 hours from when they asked for Panadol to when they got around to doing it again, which is a worry for a new mum, I suppose. Anyway, so look, we think young Freya's fighting on. It's looking positive, just little steps, but positive. So that's a good thing. Yeah, you got to have a win now and then, eh? Through the week, here's a whinge your guts out segment coming up. And, last weekend I told you that I was going away to pick up a tractor, and stay tuned, I'll bring it home through the week. And it was a Fordson Super Dexter. Now, the reason I was going for a Fordson was that Judy and I have sponsored the Fordson Club since, probably 2016. Well, they invited us down for the 2017 centenary of Fordson tractors in Australia. They invited us down for that, and we went down in 17. So, and we've been sponsoring them for a while since then. So it's been a long time. We give them a fair bit of money every year just to help with the newsletter and things like that, and it gives us a chance to advertise in it and things like that. So, pardon me. So, I'd been thinking about it and thinking, well, apart from the Fergie content that I have here with Sparex's help, they can do a bit for a Dexter. So I thought, well, a Super Dexter, it hasn't got the pneumatic governor on it, it's got a mechanical governor, dual clutch, things like that. And I thought if I could find a nice one of them, I would. And as you know, I had one lined up in the local area here, but he chose not to sell it, which is fine. That's how it all works. But anyway, I found one on Facebook Marketplace, and it was a little Super Dexter that didn't run. And I messaged the fella and I said, why do you think it doesn't run? And he said, there's no fuel coming out of number one on the injection pump. It's got a crook injection pump. And I said, okay, that's all right. But the benefit to me with looking at that little tractor was that the panels were straight, and it had the grills were still in it, and it had the Fordson Super Dexter badge on the front and the handles, and a lot of little knickknacks were there. So I had a chat back and forth with him, and I said, when can I come and have a look at it? And he said, Monday. And I said, look, I do me filming and editing Tuesday. Is there any chance I can come up Wednesday? He says, yeah, no problems. So I said, can you give me your address? And he gave me the address. He sent me the address. You go up down towards Mount Morgan, you turn right onto Crones Road, then turn left into Ricks Lane, and first house on the right, and all this sort of thing. And I said, all right, thanks. I said, well, okay, I'll see you Wednesday morning. And he said, yeah, no worries. And I said to him, can I have your phone number, please? So, if I get lost in that, I can give you a yell. And he never come forward with it, so I probably should have smelled a rat. And anyway, so Tuesday night I sent a message, and this is on Facebook Messenger, and I sent a message saying we're still right for tomorrow, and I saw him see it, and when I told him I'd take the tractor, he marked it as sold, and so I just said, oh yeah, that's okay. I told him that, look, your tractor's sold. I said, if it's what you say it is, I'll take it home. I'll bring my trailer for sure. And he said, yeah, no worries. So Tuesday night I messaged him and said, we're still right for tomorrow. And, on Messenger you can see someone's seen a message, and he didn't reply. And I thought, oh, well, it doesn't matter. People are busy, and sometimes I do that. If I'm just busy, I know there's a message there, but I don't get to it for a little while. And so Wednesday morning come, he still hadn't replied, and I thought, oh, what do you do? Do you just head off? And anyway, I said to Jude, look, I told him I'll be up Wednesday morning. I'm going. I said, I don't want to be one of those blokes that says I'm going to be here at such and such a time, and he has the day off work, or, you don't know people's circumstances. So if you say you're going to be there Wednesday morning, bloody well be there. And so off I goes, heads off 6 o'clock in the morning, and it was 300 kilometres away from here. And I got up there and got up to where I found the place. I knew it was the place. Shit everywhere, but anyway, shit and goats and dogs. And he's got the gate pulled across and a log across the other side there, and do not come in here, and there was no one around. And I thought, oh, yeah, funny feeling about things sometimes. And do not go past this point, cameras around and all that. And I thought, oh, well, stiff shit. So off I goes up in there, and this big Marima dog, and it was barking its head off, and I've never been worried about dogs. So off I go in there, and cooeying out, because he's got all these open sheds there, and he lives in the end of one shed, and God, what a brothel. But anyway, he got his Harley parked in the shed and all that, so I went in for a look, and I thought, well, I'll go up and cooey and carry on. So I'm sort of yelling out, anyone here? Hello, nothing. And I thought, oh, I'll see if I can see that little Dexter, and no, couldn't see it anywhere. So I messaged me mate Biddy, and look, people have said they'd had trouble with this bloke, but that was ages ago. And my mate Biddy, Ian Bidgood, he said, oh no, he deals with him a bit. He bought a motor off him, and he swapped a couple of old Fordsons for a Fergie, and he didn't have any trouble with him. But he said she's a bit of a circus up there, and I said, oh, okay. So anyway, so I rang Biddy, and I said, you got this prick's number? And Steve Trembath is his name. And he said, yeah, okay. So I gave him the number. He gave me the number, and I sat out on the ute and I rang him, and it answered, hello. And I said, oh, this is Lance with the Dexter. And bang, just fucking hung up. And I thought, oh, that's odd. So I rang him again, and he sort of picked up the second time, and I said, oh, g'day Steve, Lance here, and phone disappeared. So I thought, oh, I don't know what's going on. And I could hear him in a vehicle, I thought, but I didn't know what was happening. And anyway, I get this message from him then. It says, tractor sold, mate. And I said, oh, well, would it be nice to tell me last night before I drove away? And you could see him reading your message, but he didn't answer anything. So, yeah, so I thought, oh, well, what do you do now? So you turn around and you drive 300 kilometres home, with no tractor, and yeah, it doesn't matter. So anyway, arseholes I have met. He'll go in the book. Yeah, Steve Trembath. It's Trembath on some Facebook pages, and he's got another one with Buth. But yeah, and anyway, I had a whinge on Facebook about it, and yeah, a lot of people were saying, oh, you haven't been caught with him yet. Oh, everyone knew that. Well, I'd heard whispers, but I thought, and Judy and I discussed it, and I said, they reckon he's a bit dodgy, this bloke. And Jude says, but what can go wrong? She says, if you got the cash on you for the tractor, you can give him the cash, you can load the tractor up. The deal's finished right there and then. If you get there and you don't like the tractor, you can drive away and come home, no harm done. You've had a day in the country. So, and that's the way I looked at it in the end, even though I was a bit pissed off. When you do go and buy and sell tractors and muck around, and in the hobby like we are, you do have to be prepared to go for a long drive and turn around and walk off if it's not as it seemed or not as advertised or something like that. So anyway, yeah, that was that was Wednesday out of my week. Yeah, just a bloody shit show really, and so I'm still on the hunt now for a little Super Dexter. Probably within a couple of hours of Bundaberg here if we can find one. I don't care about mechanically how it is. I like the mechanic and I don't mind doing engines up and things like that if it's priced accordingly. I would like some pretty good panels on the tractor. Tyres I don't care about, but yeah, I would like pretty good panels. They're getting hard to get. So anyway, that's a bit of a whinge for the morning. When I went to the auction the other day and picked up a tap and die handle and that, part of it was these little oil cans, and I forgot to show you, and they're Lucas the favourite oiler, made in Birmingham. They're nice little dinky oilers. There's two of them. Now this one's been pushed a bit hard, but yeah, I'd forgotten to show you, and I was just looking at them this morning thinking, oh, they're a lovely little oiler. So yeah, I don't know, I'll just have a bit of something in them, who knows, but I just like the look of it. Look, a shout out to a new YouTube channel. Now I've got to get my phone going here. It's an easy name, but I just want to get it right. Okay, so those interested in doing up tractors, and obviously if you're on my channel you probably are, there's a new vintage machinery repair YouTube channel out there. Now it's called Kev's Vintage Tractor Repair, and at the moment he's got 61 subscribers and 6 videos out, and Kev's got hold of a FE35 4-cylinder diesel that's supposed to be fully restored, and well, it's restored that well that he's got to do it all again. So jump over to Kev's channel. Look, he's similar to me, as in it looks like he restores tractors for people, which I don't normally do, but it looks like he's got a bit of a part sale business or something like that there. So yeah, jump over to see Kev. The 23C engine, he's just at the process of pulling it apart. So those of you with FE35s will find that interesting. I've still got the 23C engine apart here, and I've got the stuff to make cam bushes and all that up in the shed, but I don't know, we're just not going to get to that for some time. Just how it goes, yeah. We'll get to it one day, but look, yeah, go and see Kev. 61 subscribers on his channel, so yeah, jump over there and give him a bit of help along. I noticed thanks to John Mills and Double Boost, in his Sunday night nightcap, he gave us a mention and a shout out for the liner puller and pulling the liners, so thanks John. Yeah, it's a good thing. Oh, these little bloody, must be the wet weather, there's tiny little mozzies flying around the place a bit. So, pardon me, so this week while it was raining, I couldn't film up in the shed here. Now, I got to where I could put the timing gears on the 65, and I'd bead blasted all the timing cover, the back of the timing cover, and put the gasket, to put the gasket and that on. And the gasket kit I ordered from Sparex, I ordered an AD203 gasket set, but I ordered the wrong one. Now, you wouldn't believe it, for the AD203 gasket set, there's 3 different lower gasket sets. So I couldn't go ahead with that. So oh look, what a week. We've had a couple of weeks of trouble at work with Agco Australia, which is, Agco, they own Challenger and Massey Ferguson and a heap of brands. The Australian side of the business got hit with a ransomware thing. So what happens is they lock all the files up, and unless you pay them $1 million or whatever figure they come up with, they keep it all locked away and bugger your business up. So Sparex, being with Agco, Sparex Australia, with Agco being their parent company, Sparex is off the map, and so is Sparex New Zealand and Agco New Zealand, and so what's happening is instead of paying this ransomware sort of thing, they've decided to pick up their security, and apparently, look, we've been doing a lot of talking behind the scenes about it, and apparently the FBI in America warned agricultural companies that Russia had the shits, and for helping Ukraine and all that, they were going, be prepared for cyber attacks. I mean, and yeah, perhaps Agco didn't do anything, I don't know why, but Agco Australia got wiped out with it. We rang Seng Sales and Service in town, they're the Massey dealers, because we couldn't look up any Agco parts. We can't, the Sparex site's disappeared, and this is coming up 3 weeks now. So we've it's been a long 3 weeks, I tell you. Boy, it's affected the bottom line. We sell a lot of Sparex parts, and yeah, we just can't get them. So they've gone to reinstate all the Agco stuff, and Sparex being the poor cousin, they got to wait a little while, so it seems. But to put the best security stuff in the warehouse, the computers in the warehouse weren't up to scratch, so they've got to replace every warehouse computer in Australia, I believe, and probably in New Zealand. Every computer has to be upgraded, so it'll take the latest Windows and things like that with the best security. So that's been a bit of a hard old slog. So talking to James, my rep, the other day, and he can't help me. You know, I've ordered the wrong parts, he can't help me. And so I've ordered a Bearco kit, bottom end kit, just to keep the show on the road, to keep that bit happening. So we've lost a week there. That's all right, it was raining anyway, I couldn't bloody do much in the shed. I have got the belt pulley off the TEA 20 that I bought off Grumpy Dave, that he put new bearings in. Well, when I had a look at it, he'd put metric bolts in through here and crossed over the threads, and so the housing, this is his original housing. We're bushing that, as in chucking it, and the other housing he gave me as a spare, we're using that. Now, it had been sitting somewhere and it had a couple of low spots in it, so I've used epoxy for them, and where's the other one? There. And it was quite deep grooves through there. So I've bead blasted this housing, cleaned it up, I've put epoxy in the deep grooves, and I'll sand that back shortly and go with that. The bearings that he put in, he said he put new bearings in, he did, they're okay. I priced the bearings at the local bearing shop. They're about 48 bucks each, plus the seals, so I can use all the old bearings Dave put in. So, you know, I'm still going all right there. I went down to town and I bought new seals, so I need to take this main output shaft, and you can see through here, I'm going to take that up to the lathe and polish it. You can see where the bearing is galled just there a bit, so we're going to polish this up a little bit. Now, as I undid the nut, and look, I've got most of that filmed. As I undid the nut, you can feel the tension coming off that bearing, so he had it tight. So, but anyway, I'm going to try and get it all set up nice and get good clearances, and there was no backlash in it at all, so I've sorted that out. So the bearing, I've got this set up for filming, to pull the bearing, like the cup is in the housing there, and you can see, I don't know if you can see, you can see on that one there where he put the wrong bolt in the wrong hole, and so it looks dicky there. So I've got I've got the end cap off this new housing over in the parts wash. So hopefully today I can get that done. I want to film the timing gear today if I can, and I'd like to get that going so I can chop a bit of wood. Some of the head of the wood with the tree I dropped yesterday will just go beautifully through that Fergie saw. So I would like to get that done. We'll see how we go. Carbies, I've got a Farmall M carby all bead blasted up ready to put together, but I'm not filming that. That's just after work stuff. I do that after work of an evening, and yeah, we go from there. So, but look, that's probably it for the moment. There will be some machining this week. Now, I did machine setting up the jig for doing the F14 carby, and I think I showed machining down and putting the bush in. The other shafts that I machined, I didn't film that. It was just pissing down rain, and I just couldn't get a good sound sample, even up in my little hoochie upstairs. So, but there is some machining this week. I still haven't finished machining the back of the liner pullers. Through the week I got a 1¼ UNF die nut, and where those big bits of threaded bar I bought at the auction, they've got a few burrs on the thread just from use, wear and tear. So because a couple of them had a little whoop in it, I couldn't chase it on the lathe. So I bought a die nut so I can just run that down, oil it up, run that down, and that'll tidy the threads up enough to be useful for us. I will probably try and lock a couple of nuts together on the shaft, on a piece of threaded bar, and do a 3/4 hex on 1 or 2 pieces of it, so I can just put a socket and pull things out. So I've got to do that, but it's just a time thing at the moment, so we'll see how we go. So look, that's it for the stew so far. Stay tuned, there is a bit of machining coming up. It may be in part 2, I don't know. I may let us know in the comments. Do you like like any machining? Do you want it on a separate video so you can just watch that without my dribble? Or let us know what you like anyway, and we'll go from there. So thanks for dropping by, everyone. Catch you next week. Hopefully we have a dry one, and yeah, stay safe. See yous.